tout le monde. Good evening. How are you? It's evening for some, it's morning for the others. We're heading towards what time? Midnight here in France. So I'm here for a reason. I just want to get across some ideas, to get some thoughts going that some people didn't quite have the words to put on it, or to others who haven't heard those words yet and might want to consider them. Now, can you hear? I want to know, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope so. Because I can't hear myself now with the music. It's funny, but I'm trying to set this up because my eyes are kind of like not in the right place. C'est... Oh là là. Oh là là, c'est drôle ça. Bon, en attendant que vous vous accrochez, que vous vous branchez, waiting for you to get online, waiting for you to show up here. It'd be great to see somebody online. Well, I'll get started right away. Je vais commencer tout de suite parce que je n'ai pas l'intention de rester très longtemps. J'ai des choses à dire. J'ai pas envie de tourner autour du pot. C'est difficile, on n'a pas fait quand tu es un clown. Mais voilà, des choses, des fois, faut pas tourner. Voilà. J'étais juste en train de faire maintenant, je me suis rattrapée. So guys, I just wanted to say something to my friends, my family, to the world, to anybody who would like to listen. I've really been thinking about what's going on here since the moment that there was the chaos with Zelensky. Well, it became chaos. It could have just been a spat, but of course, there are some people that wanted to make a mountain out of a molehill, right? They wanted to make a mountain out of a molehill. Right, there was a spat in the government, and then let's just grab it up and make a big story out of it, so we can just blow it all out of proportion, and that way we're not going to think about all of the money that was stolen and all of the people who are actually the real thieves and the criminals in the story. You know what I mean? So that's really important. I want to get that across because what I see as a clown, I have my eyes on the world. What I see is, hi, Ava. Bonjour, Ava. Oh, incredible. Hey, I've got a life with Ronnie. Hey, so I might just start out. I want to start out. Je peux commencer juste pour lancer la discussion et après je peux me répéter parce qu'il y a les gens qui s'en vont, les gens qui arrivent, les gens qui disent quelque chose après. Je vais lire les choses et après on peut parler ensemble. Somebody asked me to pray for their health. I, of course, pray. I pray very deeply for our health, for your health. I pray for your health. I pray for your well-being. I pray for your food, for your home, for your children, and all the people that you love, that you shall be well surrounded, that you will find people that you can trust, that love you, that you can love back without having fear. I wish all of those good things for you. A lot of tendresse. Je vous souhaite beaucoup de tendresse, beaucoup d'amour, beaucoup de gens de bienveillants autour de vous qui vous soignent, qui vous pouvez soigner aussi parce qu'ils reçoivent votre soin sans non plus vous détruire parce qu'ils profitent de toi. Voilà, ça sera bien. Donc, what I want to say is that today, what's really, really crucial, what's really, really important, and don't, go ahead and if you like what I'm doing here, because this is really important, just give me a thumbs up and please share this video. I won't do it long, so I'm going to try to still going around again. Right. Let's talk about. I actually wrote something down because I want to be straight here. This is really important. There's something really, really wrong going on right now in the world, and it's really obvious because The seems like the truth is that the most of us really do agree with the fact that we have to do everything that's possible to stop the war, and that we can trust in Donald Trump to not have a war. When you look at the past, when he was there was no war, right? I mean, so what is the problem? It's like all of a sudden, the Democrats and the people who are bleeding heart, loving, domestic, loving creatures, like bleeding, breaking heart, empathy, and all this stuff. They're like saying, yeah, we have to fight for freedom. We have to fight for the war. We have to fight for the war. That's what they're saying. The Democrats. They're saying we have to fight for the war. You know why? Because they're not Democrats, okay? So I don't know if they're going to cut my thing off, but I'm a clown talking, and I have a right to say what I think, because I all of my life I performed as a clown, and I didn't say what I think. And now I don't have the stage, and my stage is here, and my stage is here. So um, I am very astonished. Thank you. Somebody said I look beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Somebody said that they like my message, and oh, thank you so much. That is really touching. Uh, yeah, it's nice also. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not used to having people coming on and chatting with me. It's funny. Do you work as a clown? It's cool if you are. I wish more people were. I like it. Well, I am a clown. Yes, I'm a real clown. uh, I'm not a clown like they call the clowns in the political world. I hate that they say those clowns, because that's like a bad word for clowns. If you're saying that a politician is a bad politician who's an asshole, who's got a crack in his butt and smells bad, and you hate him, and he's trying to sabotage your good time and all of your happiness and your bonheur. And there he is, this guy, and he's just like ruining your life because he doesn't want to get caught for what he's done. And he knows we know. And now they're willing to, threaten us like, okay, if you don't do what we want, you're going to be sending your children to war here, there, and everywhere because we have the power. We can do it to you. We have the power. That's what they want us to think, right? But they don't have the power, really. I think they don't. I think they're really trying to scare us into thinking. First of all, it's like during the elections. It's like they wanted us to believe that Kamala Harris was winning, and that we had no chance, and that to kind of like they're so Machiavellic. They just like so they know every single little trick about how to brainwash people, blind them, get them to be manipulated and to doing what they want using fear. Really, really, now they're using the fear, and the fear is so strong that it's even against the people that are defending these Democrats, who are making all of those other people believe that there's this film going on that's not going on. And I want to know what is wrong. Let's talk about let's talk about honesty. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about the media and power. Can you do that? Is anybody interested? Let's see. I've got some messages. I've got some messages here. Welcome to the live chat. Well, come on in, guys. Come on in. Please send this video out and get it. Get it. Let's see. I've lost some people. I think I don't know. I had some people, and now they're gone. So that's like performing in the street, isn't it? When I started performing in the street, like at the beginning it worked really, really well. I was like surprised, like suddenly all these people. I did mime, just like white face mime, and that was like it worked. It was, wow, I found a way to make a living. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't think it. And then I learned about clown. That people say you should do this. You're a woman, and a woman clown and mime. There aren't many in the world, so you do it well. So do it. I was only 19, so I did. I also wanted to travel, and it turned out to be a good gig, to be able to perform in the street. This was in 1980, 1985, 1986, 87, 88, up until about 92, 91. I made my living pretty much. I had little small gigs along the way, but I mean, like, mostly I was performing in the street. And so that was like from 85 until 85, 85, 86, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Those are 5 years, 91, 6. No, by 92, I couldn't do the street. I don't think I could do the street anymore as a live thing, like just going out and just making my living doing that, because I started getting dates and contracts. So it's like, oh, I have to be ready for that contract, and I just have to have all my energy, like, and it's a lot of preparation to go to the contract. You got to be ready, ready. You can't forget anything. It's quite a thing, a trip like that. So my experience of, let's say, performing in the street, leaving the States in 1984 at 18 years old, right after the 1960s, the great revelation time, when that was the time when things were about to go right, and then they like stopped it by killing everybody one after the other because they were too influential. So that's what happened to us. So they really locked out these people are real nasty, and the people like me like Democrats. We just think, oh, anything but not it has to be Democrat, because the Republicans. Well, I happen to be looking at I've watched all the congressional hearings with the Republicans, and these hearings with these people that are guilty. It's obviously guilty of these crimes of sabotage, of treason, of lying, of doing terrible things. And we have people like, what is his name, De Cruz. We've got the other Kennedy as a lawyer, and I'm just like, and then even the House Speaker Michael Johnson. They're the only ones that talked about Israel. We're saying that the Republican Party is like, I had this belief system that the Republican Party is more like, quote, white Christian, biased, racist. That's what they had us believe. And maybe at one point it was true. But the only really bad Republicans that I've seen, the really bad ones, were the ones that are part of the same group of the Democrats, right? So we had a series. They just squatted the White House, and the only time that they weren't there for 30 years was the 4 years that Trump was there, and they didn't want him there, right? And they're going on. They don't care about us. They don't care that most of the people in the United States, when you really look at it, don't want to keep sending billions of dollars over to Zelensky, who doesn't even know where he puts the money. And that we're finding out that all this money in U.S. Aid is also going to Zelensky for X, Y, Y reasons. XY, that's funny because you've got the chromosomes XX and YY. They play with chromosomes and everything. These people are really sick. They really are. And I think that what makes me so sad is to see people that I love who don't believe that there's something really good happening right now, and to enjoy it. It's like these these quote Democrats. I say quote because I don't think they're Democrat or Republican. I just think they're evil. That's it. And they just know how they're just playing the roles. They're using the roles in order to keep whatever narrative it is that they want. Like, for example, hey, we've got lots of great programs for you. We're going to do this, that, and the other, and you're going to be really happy. It's going to be very socialist, and everybody's going to get some. And then they say that they can't get it through because of the Republicans, right? Well, it's not true. It's just a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. I've watched I think I've watched hours of every single court hearing that there was in Congress, and listened to every single debate that I possibly could. and the more liberal ones are the Republicans. And I was very surprised. What a lot, So what it is I think that a lot of them uh, migrated over from Democrat to Republican in the same way that Elon Musk, who was Democrat, uh, Donald Trump, Kennedy. How much more Democrat do you want to be? I mean, are you stupid? How can you listen to the crap that they say about him? I was so surprised that it's so upsetting how badly people talk about R.F. Kennedy. This man is such a mensch. It's a mensch. I don't see one bad thing about him. I mean, I could have said that before about Obama, but no, Obama. I did have some doubts about the fact that he was sort of like against Israel in a way, and he had something against them, and then he did something. He did a lot against them, and now it turns out and it turns out that a lot of things, that none of these people that have been after the Clintons, in none of them have been really politicians, nor who they say they were, nor everything about them. That let's say we had Bill Clinton, we had Hillary Clinton who tried to get in, and then all of these other people. None of them were really authentic people. In fact, especially the ones that were being paraded before us lately. Joe Biden. I mean, how can you not take that into account, people? You're here saying, yeah, look at how bad Trump was. He insulted Zelensky. No, did you see the whole video, or did you just watch the end of the video and then believe what the CRAP they said to you? You know? Excuse me, I've got to get my nose fixed. Do you like my nose? Maybe it's kind of makes it different. So that's what I want to say. I didn't even say half of what I want to say, but I'm gonna just leave it like that. I want to ask some questions, and you can answer me in the comments, please. Later on, if you see this video, please, and put some things in the comments here. What is the biggest lie at this time? I think it's time to break the waters. I think it's time to. We have got to get the truth through that Trump is not a bad guy. This is the minimum that people have to know. That look, Trump is not a bad guy. Okay, he's not a bad guy. He's just one guy. He's one guy alone in his by himself, and he has one other guy, Elon Musk, next to him. That's it. He doesn't have the whole deep state and all of those people in their court, tens of thousands of employees working for him, and all of that money from the American people to dole out to whoever he wants to when he wants to, and he has no reason to want to be there other than to do something to help the country, because the country was in a very, very bad space. And I can say that because I can see it from far away, from close up, from far away. And that's why I left the States in the first place. So I wanted to see what's going on in the world, what's real, and what's necessary, not necessary. Do we really have to follow this system? When I was 18, well, I didn't like. No, let me tell you something. I am not a Republican in this way. I did not like Ronald Reagan. I think he was a real. I don't think people on the Republican side realize it either. They seem to have some kind of reverie, some kind of dream about him being so wonderful. And I really have to go back and look again and check my ideas, But I do think that republicanism, that Reagan was really the first president that allowed in the corporate power and allowed the money to fly up into these uh, umbrellas, these tax umbrellas, which we call them, I think in France, we say parapluie fiscal. Uh, and then from that we did have Donald Trump, right? Because he came out of that era of this moment where there were people that really made it really big, but there was more of a cleavage between the middle class and the upper class. The middle class was getting less middler, and they got either middler higher or middler lower. But the middler, I don't know, sort of just like fell out of line. Either you just lost, you either had to work a hell of a lot more to stay in a middle class style of life, but you had to give it a little yuppiness to it at the time. In 1984, there was yuppiness, this idea of yuppie, and I really didn't like that with Reagan, and I don't associate Donald Trump with that at all. I think that people mistake that a lot. Now I don't know. Jimmy Carter, he was the president when I was old enough to be aware of who the president is. I must have been at least 10 at the time, or for me as a child, that was a really good era. But and now it's coming out that he was actually, really actually hated Israel, and he did what he did in order to hurt Israel, like to get them to believe that giving up land is going to be a good thing. All while knowing that probably. Uh, it's not, and he wrote that book called Apartheid, which was, it's totally a fictive idea about Israel. I mean, there's no apartheid. I was there. I lived in the so-called West Bank, which is Samaria, Judea, Jewish in Samaria. And, the thing that people don't know is that over there, there's a lot of space between things, because we're here in the desert. We're in the desert, and there's not a lot of land that has stuff that grows, except where the kibbutzniks are, because they know how to grow things out of the desert and the swamps. That's what they bought. That's what they cultivated. That's what made their success. They were able to make farms out of nothing. Okay, so in the West Bank, don't fool yourself. There's no, there are nobody fighting over having to have land, because there's so much of it that uh, just everybody leaves each other alone, and it's fine. And when I lived there on the kibbutz, uh, there were, there were. It's true that there were. They say this nowadays too. We did not call the people Palestinians that lived in what was Jordan, or we didn't call them. There was Jordanians, there were Egyptians, there were Syrians, there were people from Lebanon, there were Arabs. Some of them were Arabs, but we never said Palestinians. It was just they were Arabs, because there are Arabs and Jews and Christians and everybody on that land. Actually, this whole idea of apartheid is just completely false. It's just slander, to say that at all to about Israel. It's just not true. It's not true at all. Now, in every country, there are problems between cultures, and people stay away from each other because their cultures are different. And there are people that have more money or less money, or people who are a higher level social. In Israel, it's sort of a lot of people are up on top, and the people work very, very hard there. They work hard to do what they do. It's to achieve staying alive and doing anything creative, and they are creative. So, and it's not because they're benefiting off of anything. They're self sufficient. Anywhere they go, they just know how to set up shop and get going, and because they have to survive. That's it. We have to survive. So I'm gonna put on my lipstick. So anyway, I've been on for 24 minutes. Should I stay on? So I'm very. I've been. I since the period of COVID, I started to see that we're getting into trouble with censorship, and that was the first sign of like, bang, what? You can't say this word or that word or what? That was like. Uh, Hello. Kids are scrolling through, not political students. What does this say? Oh, here. Let's see. What is it a clown speaking about? Why is it a clown speaking about politics? Good question. Why? Why? Because why is a clown speaking about politics? Yes, I said that quite often. Uh, because a clown often does travel around the world. It's a traveler. A lot of people who are clowns are travelers, and they really are. It's very necessary for them to understand the taste of the how the people are, why, what the politics are, what their lifestyle is, why, what the history is, and so on. So, like as a clown, you're there right now. I might not be very funny, but one day this might be funny. After we talk about it, because right now it's we can laugh about it, but it's kind of serious because we're talking about the world. I'm trying to save the world. Like if everyone could just try to save the world, everybody's responsible. So my responsibility is to say, I want to give you what I can, so that you can see the difference between a narrative and a real story. So that's it for now. I really enjoyed this. I didn't get to all the subjects, but I do invite people to really think about why is it that why can we talk about something without having a shouting match, without having pre-packaged narratives, with just real talk. Can we talk about things, right? And I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm here to say and let you think for yourself. Because the only way I could find out things was by looking it up myself. I mean, you get, a pointer and then you can go somewhere. But right now, it's not politics. This is life. This is a question of life and death and the continuation of our modern society, civilization society, and keeping it healthy, keeping it mentally healthy and physically healthy, and having a good life as a human being and evolving, and not evolving into perversity, and calling that freedom. Perversity is not freedom. Of course, everybody can be perverse anywhere behind closed doors. That's not a challenge. But to be happy and free, and to be a human being amongst others, being good with yourself, feeling happy in yourself, and happy with the others, and the others are happy with you. This is a kind of political point of view, and that's what we need to get to. That we need to stop arguing about these ideas, because right now we can't be there's not a question of point of view. There's a question of real or not real, and we have to talk about what's real. We need to say this is real, this is not real, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. Why do we accept this and not that? Well, because the violence has been, banalized. Yes, the banalization of violence is really. I saw it. It started, in the '80s, where they took a lot of the really good television shows down that were very, whoa, these people were artists, like Saturday Night Live and Carol Burnett, and we still had Lucille Ball, and we still had like Gilligan's Island and Max Gets Smart and I Dream of Jeannie, and we had some great things, great TV shows. And I came back to the States. Little by little, they were gone, and there were like these cheap, candy sitcoms with people with no characters, and the writing was very, very weak. It was very, very careless. I mean, it wasn't even like the guy said, "I'm not a writer. I'm a producer out here for the money, but I'm going to try to write something." Really, they don't. They did it. It was like a mockery of stupidity. Like we're really gonna make you the most stupid sitcoms possible just to piss you off, and to make you feel worried about your children seeing such things and lowering their intellectual capacities. But I can't say that about everything. There was just a general feeling like we can accept that somebody's getting killed. They show gory things like somebody ripping somebody's ear off and fuck and saying bad words. And the vocabulary was awful, and the acting was. It, it was too real also. I mean, there was no more cinema in it. Television. So television used to be a source of, when I was a kid, of culture and discovery and good times. And little by little, I saw how the television became a very, very weak device. It became a mixing machine of propaganda, and getting, first of all, getting people to stupider and stupider, with while cutting education. Who was cutting education? I think that started with Reagan, or I don't know who it was that cut education. At the same time, it's funny, when Reagan was president, I went to the Baltimore School for the Arts, and the Baltimore School for the Arts never got closed. There was never anything putting it into question or into existence. And a lot of people did donate to it, that school, and the school still is there, I do believe. So I don't know about Reagan. What do you say? Was he I believe there's something wrong with him in the first place, because let's get down to Russia. Okay, we're going to get down to Russia. Please click on the like button and share this video. If you catch on this video later, please. I want people to know the truth about what's going on, because I see it. Right? And I think a lot of people see it. I'm not the only one, and I'm in contact with these people, through readings and so on, that I've been studying for the last 4 years. So I want to share this information with you, because I'm very, very sensitive. Now you say, why is a clown talking about politics? This is not politics, man. It's about politicians, and it's about the politics of living. Because living is, if you're living in a house with 8 people, they're politics, right? I mean, there are rules. There's a philosophy, there's a mood, there's something. You have to put words to it. So don't take away my words. Like, don't take away the word religion, don't take away the word feminism, don't take away the word politics or policies, or or conspiracies or theories. Don't take those words away from people, because these words are very important for us to be able to think things through. And people who are like, you're this rudeness coming from the Democrats mostly. Excuse me, I have to say, even though I mean, I excuse myself, because I am a Democrat, in the same way that Kennedy is a Democrat, and all these people that had to leave the Democratic Party, because they really saw that it was a very hostile environment, that they had an agenda, that wasn't what they wanted to do, and they wanted to be participative, and they didn't want to be bossed around. So they had to leave. But Kennedy had to leave the Democratic Party. Do you know that Biden didn't even want to give him security detail at all until he was actually running for president, and he was nominated? But people tried to shoot him. He was a Kennedy, and Biden, Obama, whoever it was, Nancy Pelosi, all of them, they knew how dangerous it was for Kennedy to be a Kennedy without, and to be running, for office and not have any detail until he actually wins the primaries. What's that? And then, the other thing is that I learned is that before Trump was actually running for president in 2016, 15, 16, uh, he was very well liked in the States. And if you look up some of the information, some videos and stuff about him, he's actually quite a great donator to people that are hardworking and are making it, and giving them a boost to their job. There are people coming out in groups, filming themselves, black people, Latinos. I mean, I don't like to call people what their race is. I mean, this is the other thing that's really disgusting about woke. It's really about racism and the other way around. The only thing good out of it is that in the end, the white Christian male that did always have the very, straightforward rights to a lot of things starts did have to go through what it felt like to excuse himself for existing. And now I think it's enough. It's enough now. I think they've become sensitized, and but the goal of the woke thing is not that these men become sensible, that they learn something. They just want to eliminate them. They don't have a good agenda for anybody. There's no good reason for anything that's any good for us. Do you have any questions? Let's have a music break. Let's see, who do we have here? Can I see who's online? Now I'm here. Now I'm here. Hi, how are you? Dorjoy? You're live, and I didn't know. Yeah, I'm live. I was supposed to come on at 8 o'clock, but I wasn't ready. It's a lot of work to prepare. I have lots of things I want to share with you. So I guess for now, all I want to do is evoke people's thoughts. I want to say that I'm gonna read my speech, and then I'm gonna come back on and read it again and again and again. So we need to talk about what is the biggest lie. Let's talk about the biggest lies right now. Is talking honestly. It's about Trump, the media, and power. We need to talk about the misconceptions we're having right now. It's time for us actually to talk, uh, to to listen to each other, and to respond to each other. No prepackaged narratives. Just talk. All we have to do is talk, and I used to think, like many others, that Trump was bad guy. I'm going to read what I wrote, okay? Um, there's so many things to say. Maybe you can give me some news. Let me know how you feel about the subject. Actually, somebody said to me just now, why am I talking about politics on the cloud? So, do you know what I think? Somebody said this to me one day, and I was like, "What, are you joking?" I was really like, I thought I was also manipulated to believe that Trump was the most disgusting thing I ever saw in my whole life, and I couldn't even look at him. He made me so sick. Really, that's how bad that is. That kind of manipulation. Because when you find out that, wait, can you hear me? When you find out, look at my little nose. Yeah, when you find out who Donald Trump really is, when you thought that he was, when you had all of these ideas that he's this really ugly man that's grabbing pussy, that's a disgusting person that abuses power, that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, that and all of this. I mean, yes, of course. Yes, we can say he was. Yeah, he already had all of his money when he was born. That's there's no. He didn't do anything exceptional because he was already rich. Well, how many rich people do you know, really rich people that ended up like being drug addicts, or that, like, or like Hunter Biden, or like uh, people that just became completely corrupted, having money, or they just burnt their money. They just had so much money and lost it, and they just didn't know how to spend it, and kept spending it and spending it, and they have nothing left, or they end up, being schleps because they never had to work. That's not the case with some people. If you do get bored with money, you have an interest, you better get on your ass and start working, because uh, you're the boss, and when you're the boss, you got to take care of a lot of people. But if you have that money, it's not, you've got to take care of that money. It can't just sit there. You have to invest it and have it work. And it seems to me that what it is that he had a passion for what he did. Also, he said he did anyway, and he seems to really love what he does. And so he's a businessman, and he sees it as a certain art, and it's understandable that he would have a strange character. It is understandable. I mean, when people are uh, kind of wild and do crazy things and buy, somebody's going to take a big, people who are risk takers, it's like, I have everything, and like Charlie Chaplin, I have everything, and I'm going to put it in all into my next film. That's also, in a way, that's what a lot of people do. They give all their money to invest into the next dream that they have, and they take that risk, and that's something that Donald Trump did and does. And I think that he, like he said, I'm not just here to defend him, okay? I mean, I think he can defend himself. Right now, what I'm trying to defend, if you want to ask me, is democracy. It's to ask you, where did where are we going with the democracy that we think that we have right now? You know, where are we right now? Do you think that right now we're actually pretty free, and that we can sort of say what we think, and that we're safe when we go in the streets, and that we're protected, that our rights are protected, and our basic rights are protected in a job situation? Are we getting extra work, more and more and more, just to keep our jobs? Is there a lot of is there a lot of latency? I mean, a lot of lack of follow up on things. Are things really working out okay for you right now? You can't look at that and say it's all because of Trump that things are not going well. The man has only been president for 5 minutes, and he was only president for 4 years out of 30 that we had this other group of people, which started out with the father Bush and younger Bush, and then we had the Clintons, and then we had Obama, and then we had Biden, and then we had Kamala. And Biden was, everybody knows, and his uncle now, and you say it out loud, that that Biden did not have his normal cognitive capacities even before he went into running for president. And they knew it, and they covered it up for 4 years, that they all knew that he was not in his right mind, that he was in decline, in cognitive decline, and that, and the news knew it, and it was like the king that walks around with no clothes, right? And they said it on CNN News. They said it, but it doesn't matter. No, they still want to go on and believe that this group of people is an honest bunch, and that they're worth listening to, and that they want to believe that there's just no way possible that the Democrats could do anything bad to them, and that they're the ones that are right. It happens to be in life that people do are imposters, and that a lot of, look at your own life. Didn't you have somebody in your life that was an imposter sometime? Just wasn't the person you thought he was or she. This happens, and these people, they get along together until they kill each other off. because they don't love each other really. They just use each other. Let's see. I got. How are you, Adore Joy? Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there. Well, thank you all of you for your messages. It's been wonderful. I will be back again as soon as possible. Let me know when it's a good time for you. If you're in the States, if you're in Europe, or if you're in Asia or Africa, let me know where you're from. Please click like. Please share my live. Please share my message. Take a look at what your belief system is and ask yourself why you believe what you believe, and try to follow up on it and check it out, see if it's true, or if there might be something else going on that you didn't see, and get together with people who are searching as well. The people that are searching are the ones that are coming up with the most information that's authentic. I find there's a lot to say, and there's a lot of things that are coherent, um, that do not go in the narrative, that are coherent on the other side. So I mean, it's crazy. These people, these they are able to take a story and turn it around the other way and make it look like the other one's fault. It's really a psychopathic type of manipulation game, and it's called blame. You know, the blame game, and they know they did it, so they're blaming. They know what they did, so they have the vocabulary to blame the other one for doing such things that he didn't do. He maybe wouldn't have thought of doing it, but they have it in their mind. So they're just like everything that they've accused this independent Trump and Elon Musk. They're just two men that do not have the taxpayers' country under money under their belts, like the other ones that have been in government for the past 30 years, that have been running the show, and all of the ones that are we don't see that are running the show. I mean, people are just totally, it's totally crazy that people would, think that it's normal to blame Elon Musk for what? You know, like you give your social security number to almost everybody that asks for it when you have to give it, right? You know, what is this crap? This man has saved so many lives. Thank God he was there. He was there during Maui when people were just starving and had no water and nothing and no communication, and they were abandoned, and it took 2 weeks until Biden got there, and then all of the people were so angry they just cursed him out all the way. And then during his speech, he only talked about how he understood how terrible it was to have lost. That he had lost. He had almost, when he thinks about how he almost lost his cat because his kitchen caught on fire. He can understand. I mean, this is just like, I won't even get. It's going to make me angry. I've been on for a while, so I'm going to take off my nose. Thank you for your likes. I've got 6 likes. Now I want this to go viral. Viral. It's funny they call the videos viral. What is this word? Gee, I'm tired. I've been following the news around the world. You know, the news, what's going on is happening. It's actually happening around the world. It's all at the same time. It's all the same reason. It's all related, and yeah. So it's passionate. It's passionate for me because as a clown, I guess, because I'm always trying to understand human behavior, and so one day a master clown said to me, you know, you really, what you have to be able to do is to be able to read the news and to be able to do a sketch about it right away. You should know what's going on in the world. And I was very, very young, and I really had a lot to do in terms of discovering just being alive in the first place. And I couldn't imagine having that kind of time mentality to read the news and then to come up. I couldn't even imagine how it could come up at the time. I was so young. I mean, mine was a very simple thing, and I was into, well, performing with the laughter, but to come up with a sketch when, or talk about what's going on in the news. And when I was younger, was a lot less. It was not so easy to do. But now I'm understanding that master clown that told me you should one day you should really try to find out what's going on in the world and figure out what the connection is between everything. Because who are you performing for? You're performing for the people, and I'm here for the people. If I can do that, if I can bring the truth with a smile, I guess that would be part of my mission for right now, as we're going through biblic times. Yeah, we're going through biblic times right now, I think. And for me, it's the best thing I can do is to be here for you and for the world to share what's happening and talk about it and give a space for people to laugh and talk and cry and to share their thoughts without getting into polemic. So it's also complex that I'll be back